I have reached out. I've reached out to all his assigns, because there are many assigns who have sent messages that they've already been elected ahead of election day for positions, and that's going to be interesting in itself. And said to them, look, it's not about who runs or leads Africa Rugby. It's more a question of, are we now moving into another area? Are we hailing and giving support to the past president and saying, you have done well, and we thank you. Your time is up. Are we now moving to the point of saying, this is our program, and our program is destined to take a radically different course in order to bring funds and money in? And I've spoken to many of the heir apparents assigns and received no joy. So yes, we throw in our hat without the expectation of changing the world, unless people understand that colonialism is a thing of the past and it is gone, or whether it is they're brave enough to say, we buy into this vision, not because it is talk and rhetoric of a sports politician, but because there's a track record that has shown it in the past and can certainly deliver it going into the future. And I said to a few presidents who've called me, because my phone has been inundated with calls, and they said, today is the deadline date. The deadline date is on a Thursday to make submissions. And I've said all along, no, I'm not going to run. I've been waiting for those who assume the seat is theirs without contest to come forth and give a justification as to why we need to stand down and see them bring us a new light, a new future, a new way forward. And it hasn't happened.
Well, folks, there you have it. That's Mr. Herbert Mensah's announcement for the Presidency of Africa Rugby. Now, I want you all to go out there, because we here at the African Sports Report and the African Sports Monthly magazine fully endorse his candidacy, and we are fully behind him 100% plus. And we believe that he's a transformational figure to bring that change that needs to be brought to Africa Rugby, or Rugby Africa, whichever way you want to twist it. But the reality of the matter is that Mr. Herbert Mensah is a right candidate for this position. Now, before we go on to the next scheduled interview, I just want to let you know this program is being brought to you by African Sports Monthly magazine. You can find this program on iHeartRadio, on iTunes, on Spotify, as well as Google Play Music on the podcast section. That is the African Sports Report, which you can find in any one of those apps. We thank you for tuning in, and please go out there and get your folks that are in rugby across Africa to vote for Mr. Herbert Mensah.
Baby, love you. Oh yeah, labo, labo, love you. Love you, baby, love you. Labo, labo, love you. Love you, baby, love you. Love you. Oh, you say cooled, Johnny, come and regulate your way. Only I like your waist, oh, baby, shaking your my way. Only Zani, I like you, gone. Can I take you home to mommy? Paro, bidi, oh paro. I say you, but tell me what you need. Baby, tell me what you need from me. Je fais la job, but je fais la job, la job.
Hello and welcome to the African Sports Report. This is your host Leslie Karoma, and I'm coming to you for another program today. And this program is mixed martial arts, actually. It's a fighting program, and I have a guest with me who is the founder, I'd say co-founder of Top Dog Fighting Championship, which is a new event, a new outfit that's going to be coming to us from out of East Africa. His name is Mr. Greg Boisvert, and is from out of Canada, and along with his companion and partner in this business, Miss Alyssa Mayo, and She happens to be the CEO of this outfit. Welcome, Greg.
Hello, how are you?
You're welcome. Top Dog is a new kid on the block, and you are the man behind this outfit, and obviously along with your partner in significant order. Now, most people wouldn't know anything about Top Dog because now you're coming in fresh and brand new. What can you tell us about Top Dog, about its founding and the rationale behind its founding?
Sure. Yeah, like you had mentioned, Alice O'Mayo, my business partner and wife, it was her original idea. She wanted to lean towards something to get the youth moving in the region. And, some of the connections that we had are through MMA. So it seemed like a viable fit. So we a couple of years ago, we tested the market, to see what we were up against, a little bit of money into that. Got a good gauge on what we were up against. So here we are now, 2.5 years later, maybe a bit more. And we're ready to announce our first show in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia.
Okay. You're starting off, like I say, I've connected with you through social media, especially LinkedIn, and I've noticed that you have a number of posters out there with events that are coming up. When is the first official start of event, and what is a follow up to that, and how does that help you establish your presence on the African continent?
Right. Well, we've been fortunate through, one of the processes we've went through was to make sure that we're partnering with the right people that had the same vision that we had. That was key. And fortunately, we were to partner up with a local promotion. They're a few years old. They're called Extra Combat. And they were ran through with Paul Cabelli and Tom Nyaja. They were both the president. Two great guys. Huge ambassadors for the sport, especially Muay Thai and stand-up part of it. So after some collaboration, we partnered up and we're going to co-promote these events as one business. And with the same vision, to promote the youth. We're running a strong amateur and professional sides of it because we're not just promoting, we're developing as well. It's just the way it is because of the lack of development options. Because of certain things, there's many reasons, but
right. Okay. East Africa. Well, that's the the thing that catches because I would assume you guys are basically would want to work across the rest of Africa, and but you're starting off with the operations in East Africa. Am I right?
Yes, correct. So we're based in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya.
Gotcha.
And then we're moving over to the Horn. Into Ethiopia, and ready to cross. We're going to concentrate on the belt, ready to cross to West Africa, into Nigeria, Ghana. It's very easy. The pool is huge, is massive. There's some MMA promotions in Nigeria, and I know there's a few more in West Africa, some smaller ones. So finding the competitors is not a problem at all. And the market that the East African market, it's ready. It's probably one of the fastest growing economies in the world in that area. If you pick through a few of the countries,
right?
Even Kenya, Ethiopia, of course, now is within a year or two, it will be in the top for sure 5-10 of developing countries in the world. So these are the markets. Tanzania, Tanzania is always a stable tourist And, and the tours is a big thing. Uganda, which is another one of our stops. We have lots of interest from all over the area.
Right.
So we're going to try to get to everybody. And that was the original plan, was to try to get to as many countries in a short period of time. So we're hoping to put off an event once a month in a different country every time.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's quite an ambitious schedule, and I would say, but again, the market is ripe for that. If I can also say that the market is ripe for such an event. Now, you guys operate, I would say, kind of a tight group or a small outfit at this stage, and with time, I guess as you grow and expand, what's your objective in terms of growth and expansion in this business? Because obviously, the market is wide open for you guys. I'll say that. MMA, as it is, I guess, if I can look at the history of during my coverage over the years, there's Extreme Fighting Championships out of South Africa, and they've basically been limited to South Africa. They have not truly really expanded to the rest of Africa. I guess it may have an exception to my statement, but that's what I know. And
you're correct.
Yes, the MMA is restricted to the United States, and I guess they're satisfied with the market. So you guys have a nice, environment to really grow and develop and expand. What is your growth strategy?
Well, the growth strategy is to let the market dictate itself.
Okay.
We're not going to dictate the market, and already that's proved to be fruitful for us. And in probably a week or two, we'll be announcing a few surprises in our schedule.
Okay, and let's talk about the style of fight. You mentioned Muay Thai as one of the focus for Top Dog. Besides, outside of Muay Thai, what is there? I mean, we know, of course, mixed martial arts as itself is it's a non-restrictive art form, which is actually like open to every form that you can use. Basically, you can grapple, you can hold, you can kick, you can punch. But Muay Thai basically has, it's a particular form of fighting in itself. So, what is the idea behind having Muay Thai as part of it, and what's the attraction to it outside of the mixed martial arts itself being the focus?
Well, one of the things that we found, because there's no platform of mixed martial arts, really actually not one single platform in East Africa, then nobody's training it, so there's no platform, so there's no goal in the end. So nobody was really, dedicated to that particular sport. But there's a lot of Muay Thai warriors and K1 warriors, and with the focus of Muay Thai as an introduction sport into the Olympics, upcoming Olympics, it fits into a lot of plans, government plans, corporate plans,
for the Olympics,
in terms of branding.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, and all of our Muay Thai, not all of it, but most of it are championship or lead up to championship bouts. So, these are serious guys. These will be serious fights. Right now, the MMA will be amateur. We're going to focus on, we want to focus on the actual talent in the region. Develop them, bring them up, encourage training clubs to, start training MMA seriously. So it's part of a cycle. It's part of a development cycle. Everybody has a role if they want to take it seriously, including the fighters. Everybody has a role to